Hello, I am Pelayo. And this is Saladolandia. And today we are going to prepare some soft Palajito mushrooms. An absolute delight. Pay attention as this recipe stands out. Delicious. Let's go for it. To prepare it, we are going to need the following ingredients. About 300 grams of mushrooms.
Come on, what are 2 little trays? An onion that is not very big, 2 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of brandy or whiskey.
Salt to taste, black pepper also to taste, half a teaspoon of thyme, a tablespoon of parsley if possible fresh, a teaspoon of oil, and a teaspoon of butter. And with this, a great recipe. We start with the preparations. The first thing is going to be to chop the onion very well. You have to chop it into very small dices. So we're going to slice it and then cut it crosswise so you get very small dices. With the parsley, the same, a big handful. And you see what I do is chop it with a very thin knife. Ready. We could chop the garlic, but I'm going to use this little device for the first time.
You just press, and the crushed garlic comes out the other end. That's how easy you make crushed garlic.
Well, now to cook. We put a tablespoon of butter and a drizzle of oil in a pan, and we're going to set it to medium-high heat. Thanks to this heat and stirring the butter, you quickly get it to melt and mix with the oil. This way, it's going to bring the goodness of the oil and the goodness of the butter to the onion. It's going to be much creamier. So now you know, this little trick of combining things sometimes works wonders. We add all the onion inside and stir once more. We're going to keep turning it as it cooks.
It's important to first soak it well.
With that fat that the oil and butter give us, and once it's soaked, we let it cook. After a while, we give it a few turns. We're going to keep turning it until it's golden and very soft.
So we're going to have to repeat this turning of the ingredients several times. When you manage to get it very soft, it will be time to add the mushrooms. Here they go. We have them washed and dry. So in they go, whole, washed and dry. Perfect.
We're going to stir them so they absorb the flavors. And let them cook slowly until they are a bit golden and also soft. Today's trick is to stay alert.
Mushrooms don't always take the same time to cook. They have different densities and different sizes, so it's easy that you might have to keep them cooking for a longer time.
But there's a good trick you can cover the container, whether it's a pan or a pot, so that they soften with their own steam.
So you end up a little. First,
that's right, I put a lid on and cook them. Then when I see that they are golden on one end, I flip them over, see? Are these already golden on the bottom? So I flip them one by one and cook again until they are also golden on the other surface. And always,
between each movement, I cover the pan. If I were using a pot, then the pot.
The point is that they cook both from the heat below and from the steam, you see? Perfect! Wait a few minutes and it's done. Now that they are starting to soften, what I do is remove the lid and make the sauce. Become increasingly thicker to remove the water. When I see that this is starting to happen, I add the splash of brandy or whiskey. There, it's perfect. I'm also going to add at this moment a teaspoon of thyme. Well, half is not enough. I add it in this central area, which still has liquid, and thus it will mix much easier. Now, the parsley that we had chopped at the beginning. If you don't have it fresh, you can use dried parsley, although fresh is much better. In addition, we are going to add the garlic that we had pressed. Do you remember? If you don't have a press, it's okay to chop or crush it in a mortar.
As long as it's finely chopped, that works for us.
And now that we have everything, add a pinch of salt and a bit of pepper to taste. This is going well. We're almost there. And a little touch of black pepper is essential because it greatly enhances the flavors and will make this super luxurious today.
We mix these spices a bit and stir everything.
We're going to let the flavors flow, let the flavors mix. With this little sauce, which is the juice of the mushrooms themselves, plus the onion, plus the garlic, plus everything. How good. Now we cover it a little and let it cook until the alcohol from the whiskey or brandy evaporates. Then we remove the lid, give it a few turns, and we are going to make this bottom liquid disappear. Let the water evaporate and we are left with a thick sauce. At the same time, these pieces of mushrooms are definitely browning for us. At this point, you can lower the heat a bit, leave it on medium heat more or less. And now to wait because the magic happens on its own, you see? You move the pan around a bit from time to time to distribute the flavors, and keep waiting. Sometimes it takes quite a few minutes, and sometimes in 15 or 20 you have it. It depends a lot on the size of your mushrooms. Well, this is starting to look good, and when it has this look here, that they are practically dry, you already see them golden brown. It's time to enjoy. We can take them off the heat, bring them to the plate, and enjoy them. What a delicious thing. It's a shame you can't smell them because they have a touch and aromas that are truly sensational. Come on, let's leave them like this. I think they are sufficiently golden and I'm going to serve them to you.
I remind you that you can accompany them with pasta, rice, or potato, for example.
Look, I'm going to try one. Perfect. Do you see how easily the fork goes in? That means it's soft on the inside. So now I dare to enjoy them. Let's go to the plate.
When you do this, always save a little bit of fresh parsley, because putting it on top at the end always gives it a plus. It adds little flavor, but a lot of aroma, and besides, visually it looks great.
Look, 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 what a look they have. What a sauce, what spectacular golden browns. Come on, mushrooms for everyone. A different and simple way to prepare garlic mushrooms with a delicious sauce. Look, 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 look at what I was telling you.
Now, I'm gonna give it the final touch. I have the dish, and I place a little bit of chopped fresh parsley. Doesn't it look nice?
Well, I assure you that besides looking nice, it gives a fresh aroma touch that always goes great with these dense sauces.
And now,
enjoy. Look, 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 what a shine. This, oh my, I'm salivating a lot.
I hope you liked the recipe, because as you can see, it turns out sensational. So I'm sure one day you'll be encouraged to prepare it and
enjoy it a lot.
A simple recipe with very economical ingredients, but with a very surprising result.
So enjoy it. It looks amazing, doesn't it? And besides, they go great with potatoes, with pasta, with white rice, with any simple thing. They are delicious.
I'm sure you're thinking of ideas, so click down here in the comments and tell me what you would make them with.
That way, I'm also picking up ideas. And look, 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 look at this video. I'm sure you want to watch it. Cheer up, you're going to enjoy it. And if you haven't done so yet, click here to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell and notifications. And every Thursday and Sunday, they will notify you that we have a new recipe for you.